Hello everyone, and let's continue with the week 3 session of Python. Okay, now we have talked about what is Python, and we have seen how to install Python on our machines. That is, whether it is a Windows 7 operating system or Windows 10 operating system. Now we know very well how to install, and make sure before you install any Python software, we need to check our computer properties, because every computer will not have the same operating system. That's why we talked about like going to the start and checking from the computer properties how exactly your computer is designed. Like, is it a 7, is it a 8, is it a 10, is it 11, and what is the type of operating system, that is whether you're using a 64-bit or 32-bit, which is very, very important before you install any software. Now it's a time to start with the actual stuff, right? And we are waiting for this. And the very first step would be, of course, we need to open some IDE, right? Now you remember in the installation, we have installed Python itself and also other IDE lists like PyCharm, and we have installed Anaconda, under which we have a Jupyter, we have a Spider, okay? We have installed some other IDE lists also, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my actual Python IDLE. So in order to get your IDLE, you can go to the start and search also, but I'm trying to do very quickly by typing IDLE on my search bar. Okay, once you say IDLE, you'll get, this is what the screen you are going to see, right? Which most of you already has seen and written some programs and sent to me. But if I look at this screen, it's a very small, I cannot read the text, very small size. So how can I increase? Let me go for configure IDLE. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just increasing the font size so that it can be clearly visible to you. Okay, if you want, you can do on your systems as well. So this is what, let me cancel again. Go to the options, go to the configure IDLE, and here where you can increase the font size. So right now the font size is 12, which is very, very small. Let me increase to somewhere 34 maybe. Once I say apply and say okay, now you can see the screen is really big. The font size is really big. All right. Now, when we have installed the Python interpreter we have installed, this is what you're seeing on the screen right now. And we also installed other IDLEs, which helps you to program very well, right? So initially, I just want to be comfortable. Now, but before going to the actual code, I have a question in my mind. Why do we actually code? And why do we like the code? Okay, this is very important question to answer before we actually code. I'm not interested in coding right now. I'm more interested in understanding why we code and why do we like coding. Okay, now think about this. We are living in a world where everything is done with the computers, right? We do almost everything with the computers. For example, if you want to send an SMS, if you want to send an email, you use the computer, right? We'll do it everything with the computers. Of course, you'll instruct them. So I want to send an email. Example, nowadays we have an amazing thing like Google. Okay, Google Assistance on your Android phones. You must be using it already, right? Hey Google, can you please call my mom? So instantly your Google Assistant will try to call your mom, that number, if it is existing in the contact list. In the same way, in the iPhone, we have something called Siri, right? Siri, Google, these are the assistants, which is basically on the different models. The iPhone is a different model operating system, and we have Android, nothing but Samsung, Nokia, and some other stuff. Okay, Android operating system, and we have iPhone related. So when you talk about iPhone, we have a Siri. When you talk about the Android phones, we have a Google. So whenever you ask them to do something, it will quickly do for you, right? Uh, you can just set the alarm also. Hey Google, can you set the alarm tomorrow 7:30 a.m.? That's it. It is going to set the alarm for you. So most of the time, either you are doing through your phones, either computers, you are making things to do work by the computers itself, right? So we are in such a world we are living in. But then how do these computers or the phones able to understand what you are saying? So you need to talk to a computer, and if you want to talk to your computer, you need to understand their language, right? And the language which a computer understand is a binary code, which is zero and ones, right? Now that means if you only talk to a computer, you need to talk to them in terms of zeros and ones. That's it, as simple as that. If I want to talk to the computers, I need to talk to the computer only in the form of zeros and ones, which is really impossible, right? Actually not possible. And what you have to do is you need to use a language which will be both will understand, that is, it's your computer and as well as you. And of course, do we all know English, as I keep saying, but the computer will not understand the plain English, right? So because we have some grammatical stuff like past tense, present tense, future tense, we have some lot of grammar which we follow in order to speak a good English. So what we do is we have created a programming languages. We have high level languages. Okay, we have a low level languages. Now those who are not exactly a binary code, actually. When you talk about a Python itself, it's not a binary code, and they are not even exactly the same as English. Okay, the programming language which I'm learning right now, or in this case Python, it's not English. It is a programming language. So they're not even exactly the same as English. That's what I was referring. They are somewhat, they have their own protocols. Why? What protocols? Nothing but the golden rules, nothing but the kind of a grammar. Okay, in English, we have a grammar. Even in programming language, we have grammar. Okay, nothing but some rules and regulations which we need to follow in order to write a very good programming, right? So, so in this case, what you're talking about is Python language. In this case, we are learning Python. So which will be get converted into a binary code by using interpreters. That is what we understood. So computer will understand only when your programming language is converted into a machine code by the interpreter. So that's why we were interested in installing a Python, because we also seen that example when I was writing 10 plus 10 something example in a notepad. It is not giving me the result. Why? Because behind the scenes there is no interpreter. So in this case, I'm learning a Python, so we need to install Python. So that is how it works in any programming language. Whether you are learning a C language, whether you are learning C++, Java, okay, there are 12,000 plus programming language, as we know, right? But in this case, in the Python, I have to install Python in order to start my programming. So I want to add two numbers. So you will say, hey, computer, 2 plus 3 is how much? Okay. In this case, Python is going to answer your question. So what you're going to do is, there are three greater than symbols which you can see on the Python IDLE. I'm not using other LEDs. Initially, I just want to understand through this IDLE shell which comes with the Python. Okay. I'm asking a question, Python. Can you please tell me what is 10 plus 20? Instantly it is giving an answer. Okay, that is 30. That means my Python is successfully installed on my machine. But I use something called plus operator here, which I'm not understanding what it is. Of course, most of us, like, we studied mathematics, right? So plus is nothing but addition, minus is nothing but subtraction, multiplication. We know all this. But how it works in programming language, let's try to discuss in detail. Okay, in detail, I'm going to write each and everything on maybe a notepad or MS Word. So today you are going to take as much as notes possible and understand them. And once you are aware of these concepts, we can start using in our programming. Okay, so for that, let me quickly just open MS Word here, which will be easy for us to write. All right, so I opened a Word here. Okay, so the very first thing we need to understand, though we know we've been using from the childhood, like what are this plus symbol, what is this minus symbol, but let's try to understand more detail. All right, so I just opened my MS Word, and what I want to do is I want to write each and everything so that it will help you to make a notes. And these are the completely basics, and we should know before actually we write any code. So what I want to do is I want to insert a table format just like that for fun, so that we can decently write what exactly we wanted to. Okay, the very first thing is, okay, before this, I want to have something. The header part, let me say this is operators. Okay, Let me increase the size. Here it is. All right, operators. Now, what is an operator? What I'm teaching right now, it's not exactly about a Python. uh, Tomorrow, if you get a chance to learn Java or C++, any language, the concept what I'm defining today is will be same. Okay, the operators will be everywhere. Even in C language, if we want to do a 10 plus 10, we are using an operator that is a plus, right? Plus is nothing but addition. So please go through this what I'm writing right now on the screen. Okay, and it will be helpful for any programming language, not only for Python. So let me just give an idea what is an operator. Okay, an operator is a symbol, right? It's a symbol. What is that plus symbol, minus symbol that performs, that performs, I'll increase the font size, that performs an operation, right? This is nothing but an operator is nothing but I'm just trying to give you in a simple words. There will be big definitions, but I'm writing in a simple words so that you can understand. An operator is a symbol. Okay, what is that symbol? Plus symbol, minus symbol, multiplication symbol. These are the symbol that performs an operation. That means when I'm saying 10 plus 10, this 10 is getting added by y. But why it is getting added? Because in between, we are trying to use an operator. Okay, nothing but a symbol, which is a plus. So let's get into more details now. In these operators, we have different type of operators. Okay, the very first one is, I need to increase my font size so that you can see. Okay, arithmetic operators. Okay, that is the very first thing, arithmetic operators, what we have. Then we have something called relational operators. Okay, we have a relational operators. We have, which is also called as, okay, which is also called as, I'm giving another name for this, which is also called as a comparison operators. We'll go in detail, but just keep in mind what are the different type of operators available. Okay, this is the definition of operators, which you can simply understand. It is an operator which is nothing but like a symbol that performs an operation, right? So in this list, we have something called arithmetic operator, and next we have relational operator. You call it as a relational or comparison, one and same. All right. So the next one is we have something called logical operators. We need to know all these operators before you actually code. It's like the basics, right? These are all like basics for you. Then we have, after logical operators, we have something called assignment operators. Okay. Then we have something called bitwise operators. Then we have operators. Then we have something called, what's the last one? Identity. Yeah, identity. Right. All right, guys. So these are the operators what is available in any programming language for that matter. Okay, whatever you learn, these are what you call as uh, operators, different operators. Okay, so we'll go in detail, not in hurry explaining everything at once, but we'll go in detail with lot of examples. Once you are, these basics are perfect, because whatever this I'm talking about more of your mathematics only. Okay, so in this list, the first one, let's pick it up, that is a arithmetic operator. So I'm taking this arithmetic operator, I'm creating a table also, so that you can just clearly make a notes. I'll also pass this word format to you so that you can easily copy. Okay. Now let me increase a little font size here so that you can clearly view what I'm writing. Okay, we are not writing any program here. I want everybody to understand what are these operators. After that, we can have fun on Python screen by using that operators. Okay, so arithmetic operators are used to perform. Okay, as we understood, they are the symbols, right? So arithmetic operators are used to perform basic arithmetic operations like addition, maybe a subtraction, maybe a division. So let's try to see this. First, I want to keep an heading operators. Then we want to say what is the meaning of it, maybe. Then we want to see what is that example. We'll also write on the Python. Right now I'm writing on MS Word. Okay, result. What is the result? I really don't know, but I want to understand operator, meaning, and example. Then we'll try to see the result on Python screen. So in this list, we have something called plus. Okay, it's coming in left side. So let's try to do one thing. I want to make it in middle. Okay, looks good. Now, what is the meaning of this? Actually, I've written something called plus. What does it mean? Okay, you already know, you've been learning this mathematics since childhood. So there's nothing new, but how it works in Python that we need to understand. Okay, the meaning of this symbol, what I've written at the left, that is plus, is nothing but addition. Okay, this is called as an addition, right? Now, the example, let's say like 4 plus 2. What is the result? I don't know. I want to see through the Python. We'll see that later. I'm not writing the result here, guys. So the next one is we have something called subtraction. The symbol looks like this, like simple dash, right? So this is called as subtraction. Now, what would be the best example again? That is, let's say 4 minus 2. What is the result? I don't know. So let's go for the third one, that is multiplication. And multiplication is nothing but you can use on your keyboard shift 8. Okay, then you'll get this multiplication symbol. Most of you guys know, right? So what is the meaning of it? Nothing but multiplication. So what is this 4 multiplied by 2? I don't know the answer. So let's ask Python itself. All right. The next one is we have something called forward slash, which is nothing but in your keyboard, last but not first. So that is a question mark. What we have is backward slash we can use, which is nothing but your division. So division, I don't know the answer again. 4 by 2, what it gives. Let's see. Let's ask the Python itself. Okay. Next, we have something called a percentage symbol, which we'll call it as a modulus, right? Modulus operator. What you can say is it's a modulus operator, but always gives you something called to get the remainder, right? In integer division. Okay, modulus operators to get the remainder. Like sometimes you get the reminders, right? Like 2 by 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. The remainder, if I say 10 by 3, the remainder is 1. So that is the modulus. So we will see the practical example. Now let's say 5 modulus 2. What does it mean? Let's see. Operators 2. Okay. Now the next one would be we have something called exponent. We all heard about this 5 to the power of 10, 10 to the power of 2. Okay, that is called as exponent, right, in mathematics. So if you want to do that operation in computer language, we need to use star star. That is nothing but exponent. Okay, let me write it here. Okay, now what is exponent mean is 5 to the power of 2. Okay, that's how you write in mathematics, right? 5 to the power of, that means 5 into 2, 5 into 5. So the same way, if you want to do that, you are going to use 5 2 stars 2. That is nothing but 5 2 times. So that is a 5 to the power of 2. So what is the answer? I don't know. Let's go for the next one. That is, we have in the same list, we have something called 2 slashes. Okay, 2 slashes. This is something different. Okay, we know what is a 1 slash, which is nothing but division. I understood. But what is this 2 slashes actually, which is much widely used when you want integer division and floor division. Floor division, something like this. 5 2 slashes 2. Okay. Guys, try to understand what I've written here. We'll try to see practically with examples on your IDLE. Okay, let's not get confused which IDLE. Don't forget about it. Just try to open your the one which you have installed first. I want to make my hands dirty. I want to be comfortable in writing all this script first. Later on, you can move on to any IDLE. It doesn't matter. It is just that we are just trying to make ourselves comfortable in understanding these things. Now, let's try to see this example on the computer screen as we understood what is addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, and exponent, and also integer division and floor division. Before we go further, there is something important to be understood. Okay. In general, whatever you see in numbers, we'll call it as the numbers, right? In general English language, we'll call it as numbers. Okay. And whatever you see text, okay, WhatsApp text or newspaper, whatever you see, any text information, we'll call it as a text in general language. But when it comes to computer terminology, the numbers are called as integers or int, maybe short form. Okay, so numbers are always called as integers. So whenever I start using integers, don't get confused. It's only a numbers I'm referring to. Okay, we can also say numbers, but being now you're learning Python, we should start using this word integers. Okay, the text is not text in computer language. It is called as a string. Okay, string or strings. String is nothing but your name, my name. Okay, computer, anything which has a text information, it is called as strings. Okay, numbers are called as integers, text is called as strings. Now in general you'll say what is today's date. Date is again in a computer language, it's called as a date only. There's no difference, right? So these are the three terminologies which we need to understand before we actually start coding. Coding is the later stage. We want to understand the complete ground reality, and the completely we want to make our basics very strong. Okay, whenever you use the terminology, try to use the right terminology like integers, strings, dates, not like numbers, text or dates. Okay, now in this list of operators, we have seen the very first one. As we understood, arithmetic operators are basically used arithmetic operators are used to perform, let me write in a simple words, not complicated one, like addition or maybe subtraction or division, etc. Right? So this is what the arithmetic operators which you already listed down. So let me correct all this so that when I send you, it should be neat. All right, so this is the complete picture what I've written in front of your screen right now. So let me make little bolder, little increase the font size as well. All right, so this is about the arithmetic operator. Now let's take quick pause. All right, we have seen arithmetic operators in detail, like what are the operators and what it is meaning, and what exactly the examples we are going to take. Any example for that matter, it's not always 4 plus 2, it could be anything. We know very well, right? We know mathematics, we love mathematics. So try to use all those operators which we know, which in general, which you use. And we also try to see the result. And as I said, I don't know what is 4 plus 2. I want to ask the computer, nothing but Python, and whatever the result I get, I want to write it here. Let's try to do that exercise now, and let's see how it works. Okay, so for that, what is the first thing we need to do is we need to go for IDLE, that is to go for the start IDLE, type it, okay? Or else you can go to the My Programs and start searching where is your Python, that is all programs, those who know, all programs, go here and wherever you find it and make it as a shortcut. How to make a shortcut? Let me show you IDLE and right click on it. Okay, you can simply send to, okay, send to desktop. Okay, if you're not aware, just copy it and go to your desktop and paste here. What happens is you'll get a shortcut of that particular IDLE and there's no need to search all the time. You double click on it, it will open the IDLE for you. Okay, I repeat, go to this IDLE, right click on it and just say copy and paste it here on your desktop. Keep it ready. Whenever you want to work on it, you can simply double click on it. That's how you are going to make a shortcut of your any application, not only IDLE or Python. No, any application you can make a shortcut, whether it's MS Word, Note, MS Paint, whatever the applications which you've been using in the computer, you can make shortcuts of that on your desktop. I'm pretty sure you guys know very well than me how to make a shortcut. Now let's begin with the Python. Okay, this is a Python screen. So as I mentioned in the previous session, always ensure that your software is working. How do I know? Just try to do one example and see if it is working, then you're good to go. Okay, so what is the first operator which I want to use in my Python? I want to do 4 plus 2. I want to see what is the output. 4 plus 2 is how much? Okay. 4 plus 2, how much? Okay, I got the result 6. So let me write the 6 here. Okay. Now, what is 4 minus 2? 4 minus 2 is nothing but you are going to get 2. So let me write 2 here. Okay. So what I'm doing is very, very simple stuff because I want to be comfortable with this software first. Okay. We are going to write very big programs later, but these are going to help you while writing the big programs. Okay. Don't be in hurry. First, try to understand very, very basic levels only. So here we can see wherever we have three greater than symbols, that stands for it is asking you to give me a question so that it can answer you. So where it is giving the answer, it is giving at the bottom. You can see here. So before this two, there are no greater than symbols. There's no less than symbol. There's nothing. It's a simply output. So 10 plus 2, 20 is 30. 4 plus 2 is 6. 4 minus 2 is 2. That's what it's giving an answer. So let's try to go for the next one, that multiplication. We all know multiplications. Okay. Let's try to do what is 4 multiplied by 2. So when you want to use the multiplication, okay, always use the shift key on your keyboard and use 8 number, which is on your serial of the second line of your keyboard. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What we have on your keyboard, on that there is number called 8. So in order to get that, if you directly type, you'll get 8 there, right? So you don't want 8, we want star, nothing but multiplication. So use shift star, then you'll get a multiplication symbol. Now what I want to see is what is 4 multiplied by 2. When I say enter, I'm getting 8. Okay, 4 multiplied by 2 is 8. I got the answer. Now you want to do some division, right? So when you want to, there's many situations where you want to do some, all the arithmetic operations for that matter. Now you want to do uh, division. So let's try to see what is 4 by 2 here. Okay, you must be noticing all those operators which you use in general mathematics. I'm using that. So Python is very good at doing that. 4 by 2. Okay, hold on here. 4 by 2, it is giving me a 2.0. Why? When I say 4 plus 10, it is giving me a 6 straight away. When I say 4 minus 2, it is giving me 2. When I'm saying 4 multiplied by 2, I'm giving 8. When I say 4 by 2, it is giving me, instead of 2, it is saying 2.0. Why? Because whenever you're dividing, there could be a chance of remainder. So that means this is your integer value and this is your decimal value. Okay, so in order to give this example, let's try to see 10 by 3. Okay, we got something called 3.3333 something. So what does it mean? So it's always try to give the decimal point also in order to get the accurate number. So whenever you're dividing, you always get decimal point, which is also called as, okay, we have seen integer. Integer is nothing but, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, these are all integer numbers. Okay, rounded numbers. When I say 1.1, that is not, this initial number is an integer, whereas this is called as a float number. Float is nothing but whenever you have a number along with, when we have some decimals, it is called as a float numbers. So we have seen one more, that is after, in that within the numbers we have something called float numbers. Float numbers, nothing but when we have it decimal numbers. All right, so this is this is what the 10 divided by 3. So let's try to see what exactly this double division gives us. Okay, let's try. Let me jump directly to this one because this is something important. Okay, floor division, integer division. So integer division is nothing but this one. So this is an integer division actually. Okay, this is called as a floor division. That means the same 10 by 3 when I do, okay, I don't want to use 1 forward slash, rather I want to use 2 forwards. Let's see what exactly the difference between 1 forward slash and 2 forward slashes. Okay, when I use this 2 forward slashes, you'll see that amazing, only the prefix number, that is 3, is coming up, but it is not showing what exactly the decimal, right? So this is what, when you want the floor division, that's what I've written here, integer division divided by a floor division. When you want, we need to use 2 forward slashes, but when you want the exact number, when I divide it by 10 divided by 3, whatever the result is, please show up. I don't want to shrink it. Okay, I don't want to make it a round figure. So in this case, when I use the 10 divided by 3, that is 2 forward slashes, when you use on your computer screen, you'll be seeing only the prefix number which we are getting, but not the decimal points. So that is what the integer division, floor division, okay, integer division or Floor division. Floor division is decimal symbols. So we stopped somewhere, that is a multiplication. We have seen the division. Let's try to see modulus. Okay, modulus operators. Uh, it's basically used to get the reminders in the integer division. Okay, integer division when you want to get the reminder one. So let's try to see 5 divided by, let me increase it. Okay, 5 percentage. Okay, percentage nothing but you can use. All right, now we want to use something called a percentage and see how the modulus operator to get the remainder in the integer division, that is 5 percentage 2 or any number for that matter. I'm simply using 5 percentage 2. What will get? Okay, I'm getting 1. So the remainder part when you want, the quotient number when you want, like we are going to use the percentage symbol. So that's what I've referred here. And exponent is something very important. Like I want to do something like 2 multiplied by 2, then multiplied by 2, then multiplied by 2, then multiplied by 2. Basically, I want to say 2 to the power of 4. So when I see, I'm getting 32, which is good. There's nothing wrong in this program. But there is a concept where if you want to give the power of exponent rather, okay, let me use this word exponent. Instead of using this many times writing your script so long, you can say simply uh, 1 2 3 4 5, that is you can say 4 to the power of, that is how many stars we need to use, that is a 2 stars. If you use 1 star, what happens is it will simply multiply it, but we don't want to multiply, right? We want to make it to the power of. So when you use this 4 to the power of 2, let's see what happens. Okay, this is 5 to the power of 2. Okay, in the same way, like if you say 10 to the power of 10. Okay, so when you want to multiply that many times, instead of writing this way, okay, the number of times you need, here you can see 2 to the power of 5, right? So let's try to use 2 to the power of 5. So the result is same actually. If you look at this screen and if you look at the last one, both are same. Instead of writing 5 times 2, you're writing 2 stars, which you use between 5 and you are getting the 32. So that is how we can use the exponent. Okay, exponent, this is what. So I cover how to use plus, how to use nothing but addition rather, let me put this way, subtraction, which is nothing but minus, a multiplication. You can see this multiplication symbol you can get on your keyboard, that is 8. Okay, and division you can see just beside your shift key. Okay, those are not aware. And the percentage you can see on screen, that is a numeric pad, you can see percentage, that is 5. Okay, exponent, as you know, again 8 twice if you type, you'll get the exponent. And the floor division is quite interesting, right? You have seen what is the floor division. If I say 5 by 2, I'm getting something 2.5. Yes, absolutely, it's correct. 5 by 2 is 2.5, which is exactly off. But if you want the exactly, let's type this way, 5.5 double slash 2, what happens here? We are getting the exact integer value, but not the decimal value. So in some cases, when you want the numeric value, this is how you are going to type in, that is by giving a 2 for process. But if when you want the exact number, always try to use 5 divided by 2, that is 1 slash, and this is a 2 slashes. So this is all about arithmetic operators. And if you ask me a question, when you are going to use, yes, we are going to use these in many programs whenever you're doing some kind of a calculation, okay, mathematical information, whenever you want to numerical calculation, whenever you're performing in your program, definitely we have to use all these operators. All right, we have seen how to use arithmetic operators. Okay, we have seen some notes regarding this in MS Word. Okay, I've created as a table. I will send you out this anyway. And there is a next topic. Let me copy this instead of writing. I'll just copy this one. And relational. Let's try to understand in depth what is relational or comparison. Of the word itself is indicating, if you look at very closely, comparison operators. That means you want to compare, right? Relational also giving the that kind of meaning. What is relational? So let's try to write some text here so that you can understand. Relational operators are used to compare the value of operands, or you call it as what? Expressions to produce a logic value. And let me put this way also, what is the logic means? Logic is a logical value is either true, what, or false. Okay, I've written in a simple words, not taken a great definition for this. Okay, so let's try to understand this, what exactly relational or comparison operators mean. So before that, oh god, I just overwrite it, so let me. All right, we are going to see now relational operator, which is also called as comparison operators. Now, if you need to look at the definition, which I've written in a simple words, relational operators are used to compare the value of operands, okay, which is also called as expressions, okay. What it does is basically to produce a logical value. Okay, and what is a logical value is basically which either a true or false. Okay, you're trying to compare an orange with an apple. Now, when you're trying to compare this orange with an apple, you want to see whether it's true or false. So in technical words, what happens is you'll work with a lot of numbers, you'll work with a lot of text, nothing but strings, you work with dates. So whenever you want to compare certain things between them, so we have to use a relational operators or comparison operator, or okay, it could be anything, right? So the first operator, let me put again the same way what we have learned in arithmetic operators. The first one is less than symbol. Okay, we already know this. What is this less than symbol mean? But we want to see practically on the computer screen. So let's see what is this meaning. Less than. Okay, less than. And the example would be, let's say 5 less than 2. Now answer, I don't know. Let's try to ask the computer again before we actually go for the next one. So the next one is a greater than symbol, which is nothing but greater than, right? Now this is, let's say, is this greater than 2? I don't know. So let's go for the third one, that is less than or equal to, which is nothing but how you spell it, greater than or equal to. Okay, this is greater than or equal to. Now here what you're going to write is, that is 5 greater than, it's a greater than, right? So greater than or equal to. This is written wrong. This is not greater than symbol. This is a greater than symbol. This is a greater than or equal to, which is uh, yeah, greater than or equal to 2. Yeah, fine. I've written wrong. So now this is less than or equal to, simply less than or equal to. And less than or equal to, how you're going to write? So that is 5 less than or equal to 2. This is an just example what I'm giving, how it looks like when you're writing a program. So this is your less than symbol. And then we have something called equal to operator. Okay, equal to. There's a trick here which I've written wrong. I'll explain you why. So 5 equal to 2. Okay. Then we have something called on your computer keyboard screen, there is a number 1, right, in the numeric pad. So there is, if you use shift 1, you'll get this exclamation symbol and equals to, which is nothing but called as not equal to. Not equal to. When you want to see 5 is not equal to 2, I don't know. So let's answer computer again. So that's the reason. So these are what you call as relational operators or comparison operators. In the list, what we have, the very first one is less than. Less than is when you want to compare, is this number is less than 2? Okay, but we cannot compare between something called text, right? We cannot compare with this text. We can compare with the objects, we can compare with the numbers. So in the same way, behind the in the list we have something called greater than, greater than equal to, less than or less than equal to, then we have equal to, then not equal to. So as I said, I have written something wrong here, that is equal to. We all know equal to, how to use it. That is, this is what the equal to. But in Python, we are not going to use single equal to, we need to use double equal to, which means equal to actually. Okay, one equal to, when I use a single equal to, something like this, it has a separate meaning, which we'll talk about later. when we are talking about the strings, nothing but text. Now let's start using that word strings. So when we are talking about the strings, we are going to use double equal to, but when I'm using for a numeric ones, I'm going to use double equal to. We'll see with the example also, will I see any error? We'll also try to check that. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 operators we have for the relational operators. Now let's try to see practically on the ideally. Okay, I'm using ideally again to check all this. So first thing I want to check, what is 5 less than 2? What does it mean? Okay, I'm using 5 less than 2. What does it mean? I'm getting a logical value. That is what we need to understand. Don't be in a hurry here. A 5 less than 2, you're expecting some number. No. Here, the comparison operator always give the result either the logical value, that is whether it is a true or false. So here the answer is false. 5 is less than 2. It can never be. So that's why we are getting the answer as false. Let me put this way, false. Yeah. Now, the greater than symbol. So when I say 5 greater than, okay, we are not able to see the computer screen. So let me make it little. Okay. So let's try to see the same one. So, okay, I need to close my window here again. It's giving me some error. IDLE. So quickly open it. Let me start from the screen first. Okay, 5, we have used 5 less than 2, that is we got the result as false, which is absolutely fair enough. When I say 5 greater than 2, is 5 is really greater than 2, the answer should be yes or no. But in here we are using a logical value called you'll get either true or false, nothing else. So maybe error if you've written something wrong. So you are getting the answer as true. So let me fill my form, that is the answer is true. All right, the next one is greater than or equal to. So 5 greater than or equal to, how do we check? 5 greater than or equal to 2. So what would be the answer here? 5 is neither it's greater or equal to 2. Obviously, you are going to get what? True. So let's see how we got this 5 greater than or equal to 2. I got the answer as true. Just hold on this. Now, the next one is we have less than or equal to. 5 less than or equal to 2. I said 5 less than or equals to 2. When I say enter, I got false. So let me write the false here. Now, next one is we have 5 equal to 2. Okay, I've written wrong here. 5 equal to is not single equal to. We need to use a W. Let's see what happens if I use single equal to. Syntax error. Cannot assign to a literal. That means this subject, literal, assigning a variable, these are all the new concept for us. So we'll talk later. Now, as I said, in numerical operations, we need to use always double equal. So let's try to use double equal to and 2. I'm just trying to check whether it's 5 is anyway equal to 2. Let's see, it is false. 5 is double equal to 5, so it should be true. So that's how the equal to symbol, I want you to understand only one thing. The numbers can be anything, guys. The what you need to understand is how to use equal to operator. Equal to is not single equal to, we need to use double equal to, which is understood by the Python interpreter. So that means 5 equal to 2 is true or false. So that is false. So let me make it as a false. Now 5 not equal to 2. Let's see the result. I said 5, then one number. Okay, if you see on your keyboard, there is a 1 for which you need to use shift this exclamation symbol equal to, what is the example I've taken? Let's take the same example so that we can understand. 2. I'm getting the answer as true, right? Not equal to. So not equal to, not stands for, that is the exclamation symbol, and you're using equal to symbol there, which becomes not equal to symbol. So this is how we can start using relational or comparison operators in order to make your bigger programs tomorrow. So this is how we are started with comparison. All right, guys, having understood how to use the arithmetic operators in day-to-day life by using the Python ideally, and we have also seen how to use the relational operators, which is also called comparison operators. Now it's time to get into the next module that is called as logical operators. So logical operators. So let's try to see that. If I go for a, instead of relation, let's try to type it as logical operators. So now, what is a logical operators? Let me write let me type something. What is a logical operator here? Okay. So if you want to understand what is a logical operator, it is basically something like they are the operators, just they are also part of the operators, right? So they are more relational operation to form a complex expression. Okay, maybe called as a logical expression or a value obtained by evaluating a logical way of getting either it's a true or false. Okay, in this series we have something called let me explain, that is and. Okay, there is something called operator called and. Okay, now let me put one more, that is or. Okay, there's one more called not. Okay, so what is not, what is and, let's try to understand very clearly. This is and is a logical operator, okay, which is basically called as a logical and. Okay, and next we have something called, this is a logical or, of course, and next we have something called logical not. Okay, now in order to give an example, and so before we go further, we need to understand these two terms very clearly. And or, and means both the conditions should satisfy. I want to play a video game, I want to go to school. So these are two conditions here. That means you want to do both the things. Okay, you want to do both the things. I want to go school and I want to play video games. So you are using in between these two conditions, that is going to school and playing video games. In between that, you are using and operator. And means it becomes mandatory. Both should satisfy. Both should be satisfied. That is what the and operator. For instance, if I use something called phi, let's say 2 and I need a space here. I'm going to write some big one. Okay. And when I say 5 greater than 3, and what is the result? I don't know, but this is how it works. So that means 5 less than 2 and 5 greater than 3. Both the conditions were not satisfied, then only the answer is going to be true. That means going to school, going going to play a video game, both the conditions are satisfied. That means true condition, that is. But if I say or, what happens is I want to go school or I want to play game. So in both the cases, even if you perform any one action, that is either playing games by sitting at home or going to a school, then it is called as a or condition. That means any one condition should satisfy there, either playing games or going to school. So that is what you call as or. So let's see how the or looks like. So I'm going to put the same condition, nothing new. I'm going to use instead of and or. So and or both are logical operators, and we'll see what is the result on the computer screen, not writing by themselves. So what is not here? Not is like 5 less than 2. That is what we want to check. Okay, not as good as not. Okay, so let me not have this many because all right, so this is what the logical operator is all about. Logical operators are always used to connect more relational conditions, more relational conditions. That means when you have, it's not always two, actually, it could be a more than. Okay. Let's take in a simple example. I have a subjects like English, Telugu, Maths, Science, Social. Okay, 6 subjects. If you get all the passing marks in all the subjects, then you are called as passed. So that means and condition is working. Okay, and the next example, which is giving, which I'm going to give, which is illogical, with just giving a try. Even if you get, uh, even if you passed in mathematics, or even if you passed in science, it's still your passed. Okay, that is what the or condition. And condition is in the both the subjects when you pass, then only you'll be considered as a pass. So and is both the conditions should be satisfied. When it comes to or, any one condition is satisfied, still fine. That is what your logical operators works. Now, before going further, to make it more and more clear, what I will do is I'll try to draw one more table, which will give you more understanding about this operator. So I doesn't require this result anyway. So let me put operand 1, 1, and let me put this as 2, which will give a real sense. And this I want to say as a result. This is trying to give you more information how this real world works. Actually, if you know this logic, we are good. I'm sure, pretty sure you know already this when you're working with the mathematics. When I say true, when I say again true, what would be the result? That is what I want to know. The true plus true is always true, right? That is your what, that is what the and works. That is how the and works. So this is all about and. This is all about your and. How and works, that's what I'm trying to explain in more detail, so that there should not be any question when you are working with any mathematical operation. So that's it. Okay, so true, true, always the result is going to be true. That means operand one, let's assume you want to go to a school, and the second operand nothing but you want to sit at home and play the video games. So when the both the conditions are, when you are able to perform both the things, that you went to school, you came back, you played the game, so that means both the things you are able to do, the result is true. That is and. Okay, what if the first condition, that is you went to school and you could not play, by any chance you could not play the video game, so what would be the result here? That means here it is false, because what I was keep saying, both the conditions when satisfied only, the result will be true. But in this case, you went to school, which is good, but you could not play video games, so the answer is false. So the next one, let's say what exactly, you could not go to the school, uh, you could not go to the school, but and also you try to play the games, but the result would be false. Okay, now the next thing is next thing is when you could not go to the school and you could not play the games also, for so and so reason. Okay, for so and so reason you could not go to the school, you could not play the video game also, so what could be the result? Obviously it's going to be a false expression. So what exactly is in real times, let's try to take one more example. True, and if you have some expression which is of expression, the result will be always expression, which I can show only with the logic showing on the computer. But now let's try to understand, when the first condition was true, second condition is just an expression, the result will be always an expression. Okay, now let's go for the next one. What if it is a false? What if it is a false and this is an expression, and the result would be always a false? So this is how in reality the true, that is and operator works. So I'm taking this as one example, this as one example, as I said, like school and video game. But in real terms, when the first condition is true, second condition also true, the result will be always true. Okay, I passed in this exam, I passed in this exam, the answer is true. Okay, that's how it works. The and operator I'm referring to. True always have uh, true, that is nothing but the expression one and expression two always will be a true condition. So, okay, that's how it works. So let's try to see the or operator so that you can have more information when we are trying to compare between and or. So let me just remove this and use this or. Let me use that or. Okay, so in this case, let's try to, I'm not removing anything, let's try to reverse this. Here it is a true, here it is a true, the answer would be obviously true, because either of the conditions should be satisfied, but in this case the two conditions are satisfied, so obviously the answer is true only. In the next condition, it is true and it is false, so what the condition, the answer would be, it's still true, because one condition is satisfied, that's enough for me, right? In this case, in case of and, it is false, but in case of or, it is a true, because one condition is satisfied, that's enough. The next one, in case of a false, in case of a true, what would be the answer? Because it is going to be true, because at least one condition is satisfied, that's enough for me. Okay, the next one, if you want to go for the next, that is, this is also false and this is also false, what is the answer? It's always a false, because either I could not go to school, either I could not go to started playing the game, so obviously the ultimate is nothing you have done, so obviously the answer is false. So in case of expression true and the expression, the answer would be not the expression, but rather it is true, because think about, let me write this, think about this, or I'm talking about or. When I'm talking about add, my behavior is different. When I'm talking about or, my behavior is different again. So I'm using a true here, not false. So when I'm using a false, when I'm using expression, it's going to be expression, because everything is failed, right? Expression. So this is how your or is going to work. But how the not is going to work? The not has any special significance. Let's try to see that as well. I'm going to remove this or now. Let me put the not. Let me put not. Yeah. I don't need this much because it's a simply not. Let me close this with only two blocks here. So I'm just removing delete cells, all the entire rows. That's it. So if it is a false, let's try to take in different fashion. So if it is a false, and that result would be, I don't require this, guys, sorry, so let me remove this. Yeah, if your opponent one or two, there is no two condition, it's simply directly not right, so we are not comparing two. If it is a false, then the result will be true. If it is a true, the result will be not true, rather it is false. So just opposite that. So this is how your entire table, you can see the logical operators beautifully designed. Now you can see there are three operators, and which is a logical operator, or it's a logical operator, not is also a logical operator. So when you try to compare how these conditions, based on the conditions, if you want to see the result, this is how it is going to be. True, true, it will be true. True, false, it will be a false. False, true, it will be a false. False, false will be a false. True expression will be expression. We will see this, what is expression, hold it back. And or, how the or works is simply opposite to and if you look at this not, if when it is a false, it will show as a true. When it is a true, it will show as a false. So this is about your logical operators. So we have seen in this list arithmetic operators, we have seen relational operators, we have seen the logical operators. All right, we have seen the logical operators, how it works, because as I mentioned, like and is nothing but when the both the conditions are satisfied, then it is considered to be and or is like any of the condition is satisfied, it is or. And I've given the brief explanation how this in reality it works, like and the behavior. Okay, we can see true, true means true, true, false means false. And in the same way, or means true, true, it will be always true. And true, false means true because either case one is true, so that's why the result is true. Either case one case is true, that's why it's true. But in this case it's not the same case, because both should be true, then only the result will be true. Okay, and both the cases false, and finally the result also will be a false. So let's try to take this example of this 5 and 2, which I've written just as an example. Let's see what is an output here. I'm just pasting here. So here what I'm trying to check is if 5 is less than 2 and 5 is greater than 3. So when I see the result, it is false. Why it is false? Because both the conditions are not satisfying. The result is answer is false. So let's try to put it as false here. Okay, so the next one is when you see this or condition, okay, which I was said like not or condition, the or condition in the sense this 5 is less than 2 or 5 is greater than true, the result when you see the answer is true because one of the condition is satisfied. So obviously the answer is going to be a true condition. Now you'll see the importance of this when you're writing a big programs. Right now just we are trying to test how it really works. So here we can see not is not accepting because it is not is not defined. Okay, not can be used with some combination which will come to understand in the next upcoming session. Okay, how the not can be used. As of now I just use not. Is it not 5 less than 2? It should be getting as a false, but I'm getting error here because it's really error because the way I've written is wrong. Okay, so we'll try to understand all these operators very closely when we are trying to write a very big programs. As of now, it's only a basics to understand how this operator is supposed to be used. Okay, try to be perfect in by upcoming sessions. What is arithmetic? What is relational? What is logical operators? Because this assignment, bitwise membership identity, we have to stop here only, because before this there is another topic which you need to cover, then only you'll understand what is this assignment operators, bitwise operators, membership operators, and identify operators. That's all for today, and have a great weekend. We'll see more operators, and also before this is a prerequisite topic which we're going to cover in the next week's session.